Yeah. On today's episode, we're gonna be talking about Airbnbs crashing the out, dog. People are getting foreclosed on Airbnbs. They losing money. I mean, invested a lot of money into them. But then I'm seeing on the other side of it, they saying Airbnbs is gonna be able to make you a lot of money. Talking about July 20th, Trump is gonna make. I don't know. We're gonna find out. But let's hear what this guy talking about. Let's see what's happening.
Just got foreclosed on today, and all my other ones are losing money.
Airbnb wonders why they're going out of business, and I'm sitting here trying not to be annoyed.
The realtor said, I've never seen this many vacation rentals come on the market for sale. Every day someone is asking us to list their Airbnb for sale.
So today we're going to take a deeper dive into Airbnbs in 2025. We've talked about this a little bit when it comes to the core sellers, the current real estate market, and some of the horror stories when it comes to landlords and the renters. But I think it'd be interesting to go over it a little bit more now. So we have a lot to go over today. The prices compared to hotels now, of course, the grifters trying to sell you a passive income dream, the terrible condition some of these Airbnbs are in, the hosts misrepresenting their properties on Airbnb just to get the sale, and on the other side, the terrible condition some of these customers will leave these homes in, absolutely destroying it, making this whole thing not worth it in the end. We also have some comments from you guys from previous videos, so if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just start off with a few customer stories.
I will never understand why people book Airbnbs instead of a hotel. So you're telling me not only am I going to have cameras watching me, but then I have to clean up the whole house and I got to roll out the trash bins at the end of the stay.
Airbnb wonders why they're going out of business, and I'm sitting here trying not to be annoyed. So I have booked a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom villa, and in the description it says the entire property to yourself, the amenities to yourself. So I just arrived at this villa, and it's like a duplex situation, like an upstairs downstairs situation with like a shared pool, which is like, I specifically specified that that's not what I wanted.
My Airbnb host is harassing me to delete my review, but I didn't even leave a bad review, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not even the kind of person that would normally leave reviews, but I checked out of this Airbnb yesterday, and since then I've already gotten like 5 messages from this host being like, please review me, please review me. So I did, and shocker, be careful what you wish for. I was honest. Oh my god, I gave a 4-star review overall because it was a nice stay, but not worth 5 stars.
So these are just some of the problems you'll come across if you look this up online. The first clip, having to do chores before you end up checking out, which overall wouldn't be that big of a problem if you weren't also charged a cleaning fee when you're already cleaning yourself. The second clip, misrepresenting the property, saying that you'd have everything to yourself, which overall would demand a higher fee on Airbnb, but that was a complete lie. It was a duplex. And of course, the last one, the constant emails or text messages asking for a 5-star review nonstop. We can look at a couple of the comments from these clips. Airbnb was legit when it first started, now not so much. They're more expensive than hotels with a lot less of the guarantees. Airbnb are why rents are so high in so many cities, and we're definitely going.
So let me see the pros of getting the Airbnb. Yeah, it used to be the hotels were too high and you could get a good deal on the Airbnb, but soon as these greedy, like, this is ruining the economy. As soon as you get too greedy and you start putting in $200 moving fees, $150 cleaning fees, I'm sorry, not moving fees, but cleaning fees. Once you start doing this scam types, by the end of it, you say, oh, $200 a night. Then you add it for 1 night, 2 night. All right, $400 in taxes. I can do that. Then you get to the end, an extra $150 for this, and then the fee, like you damn near like $600-700. You might as well just go to a nice hotel where you ain't got to deal with none of that. You got security, you got service, you ain't got people watching you, and that's a big thing on here. People really be watching, having cameras in these Airbnbs. Why the hell would I want to stay anywhere where y'all got a camera constantly on me, where y'all can check and see what I'm doing, where I'm doing it with? No smoking here, no this, no more than 5 people, or we got to charge you more. Like, who wants to deal with that? Who wants to deal with that, dog? At least hotels, I mean, you can, worst case scenario is, hey, when it comes, if something's not going right, you get your money back. But these Airbnb people begging for reviews, this is pitiful. And I think I mean, I don't want to wish down bad on the Airbnb business, but it's just like, as an Airbnb customer, you see some of this stuff, you be like, yo, this is a good deal. Then you click on it until you get to the end and realize you've been bamboozled. So y'all deserve it for yourselves, man.
To see some of that in a little bit, but we have another experience from one of you guys. Count me as one of those previous Airbnb users who no longer uses them. They were great at first, but the fees add up more than the perks do. Most hotels offer free breakfast, clean up a room, and don't make me do chores before I leave for the day. And because of these reasons, we're starting to see news articles like this.
I just said millennials and Gen Z were moving away from Airbnb, and now they have just confirmed it themselves. Airbnb has hit a major speed bump in demand. It's been doing the worst that it has since 2020 during the lockdown. For the 3rd quarter straight, Airbnb gave a disappointing forecast, and it warned Wall Street that demand is slowing. Airbnb competitor Bookings Holdings is saying that it's seeing consumers opt for lower star hotels and shorter stays when they do book. So you know what that means. When more people start to go for lower star hotels, it's another sign of the downgrade economy, where consumers under pressure choose the cheapest option possible. Airbnb trends are playing out pretty much how I outlined. When it comes to singles and couples travel, people are opting out of Airbnbs and going for hotels.
I would still say one of the benefits is that if you're traveling as a group, you renting out a really big house for the weekend and splitting the cost is probably cooler to do than renting out a block of rooms at a hotel. But of course, in this economy, people wanting to save some money. And like you said, if it's just 1 or 2 people traveling, many hotels are marking down their rooms to compete with Airbnb and overall giving you a better deal.
Airbnb now has so many problems that I don't know if they will ever be able to recover, we are seeing the crash of Airbnb. Now, some of these problems include the insane fees that add up to more than the cost per night, and the negative effect that...
And really, that's Airbnb's fault for allowing these people to set their own cleaning costs. They should not have been able to add a cleaning cost in. That's something, no, you handle that. You don't charge nobody $100, $200 for the room and then charge them $150, $75 for cleaning. Like, no, that's your job. As you own this, you want to be a hotel, you figure that out. You hire people in, you take from your profit. You don't basically say, I'm going to charge you damn near half or a little bit, 75% of what the room costs to clean it up after you're gone. And then you're outsourcing that. So you're not even the one cleaning it. And the people that's coming to clean it are not even getting the whole cleaning fee. You only paying them half of what you charge in the cleaning fee. It's a scam, man. And it's, y'all deserve everything y'all get. Greedy.
it is having on the current housing crisis. There's even horror stories of tenants moving in and then staying and squatting and refusing to pay rent, refusing to leave the property, and Airbnb and the government is doing nothing. So Airbnb is truly a mess. It is not affordable anymore, and a lot of these places aren't even that nice. You used to go to Airbnbs, it would be like a cute little house, you would see a lot of character, it'd be fun. Now I walk in and they're just like sad, depressing apartments with IKEA furniture. It's like I would much rather be in a cute little hotel. I would much rather be in a La Quinta versus this. And the fact that Airbnb is adding their own fees on top of the fees that they're already taking from your nightly stay is just insane, which is probably why the hosts are now hiking up all their cleaning fees, because that gives them a little extra cushion to make up the money that they're losing from Airbnb taking a huge cut. But it results in it being a terrible experience for the consumer. I am done. I'm telling you guys, I hate Airbnb now.
So I think one of the big reasons Airbnb went from being a cute little house.
This is a trend that we're about to be seeing a whole lot more of. This guy, Mark Jenny, tweeted out last week that he was speaking to a realtor in Arizona, and the realtor said, "I've never seen this many vacation rentals come on the market for sale. Every day someone's asking us to list their Airbnb for sale." I think there's a few different reasons for this. First, the space is completely saturated at this point. So many people have purchased Airbnbs or done Airbnb arbitrage, so there's way more supply than there is demand at this point. Also, obviously during a recession, there's going to be way less discretionary income for the average individual, so they're going to be traveling less, staying in Airbnbs less. Ultimately, I actually think this is going to be really healthy for the industry and for the consumer that uses Airbnb. I think it's going to force hosts to maintain a much higher level of customer experience, and ultimately I think that's going to be really healthy for
in the news.
Off to Spain, where you might have to book a hotel instead of an Airbnb. The Spanish government has ordered a crackdown on the rental site to remove more than 65,000 property listings. It's down to officials not knowing whether they're owned by an individual or a company, and some failing to provide the right details. While it's not good for holidaymakers, it's welcome news for locals. There's been massive anti-tourism protests in the country over rising rents and a lack of affordable housing.
I'm frustrated.
Which is I think that's I don't know if Airbnb can get any blame for the housing market at all, much like the corporations who, like, 3 corporations own over 50% of rentals in Atlanta. Like, that's a problem. They're now building subdivisions that are only for rent, none of it for sale. 50, 60 homes, brand new homes, all for rent, none for sale. That's crazy.
Airbnb. The last 3 that I've gone to have sucked. Like, as the user, it's been horrible. You know, I've been gaslit. I've been legit gaslit. Like,
well, that's why hospitality, I think, is doing well now.
Yeah,
people are just like going back to the hotels.
This kills me. I do the first Airbnb, I get totally bamboozled because the photos look sick, and I get there and it's not. And then I do this whole thing on Instagram, like, dude, Airbnb just did me dirty. And then I get hit up in the comments, bro, you got to make sure it's a superhost. Make sure it's a superhost. Okay, bet. I'll make sure it's a superhost. Guess what happened to the next superhost I got? Freaking got me again. What do they say?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
That's shame on me now, dude. Oh, I'm done with it. Done. I'm back in the.
You're back in the hotel
I'm
scene?
back in the hotels.
Some of the comments here, hotels are where it's at. You got to stay in a room that they clean for you every day, go do what you want at your destination and come back. Also, Airbnb is constricting the housing market and keeping young people from owning homes. I think Airbnb has made hotels clean up a lot of their bad business practices. It's definitely cleaner in hotels now, and that's what I was saying earlier. I'm just worried if Airbnb and similar companies completely collapse, then the hotels will have a monopoly again, and the same problems will start rising up. Another comment from one of you guys, Airbnb is a failing business because they completely changed their business model. When Airbnb first started, it was, hey, rent out your son's bedroom. Now that he's off at college and Beyonce's in town, you can make an extra 50 to 75 bucks. Nowadays, it's a condo rental site. That's not what we wanted. We already could rent a condo. We wanted to spend very little money to have a place to sleep for a night or two, cheaper than a hotel. And it really has turned into an investment, another vessel to make a whole bunch of money. I'm not saying that overall that's a lie. I think in 2025, it's very oversaturated, so it's difficult to make that kind of money, but many were sold that dream and it's just not living up to that expectation.
Get an Airbnb, they said. You will make money, they said. No, you actually won't. You know why? Because you're going to have people that end up staying there. Tell me why I had this guest that stayed and then literally lied to Airbnb, said that they didn't stay. So they got to stay for free. They got everything reimbursed. Not only that, they stole a bunch of like they literally stole a bunch of and then they gave a bunch of 1-star reviews, and because of that my Airbnb was blocked for the whole month of July, and like not because of that I can't even pay the rent for it because it was blocked. And then when I called Airbnb back and forth multiple times, they never solved my problem. They said they'd call back in 15 minutes and then they wouldn't. So yeah, if you're gonna make one, just be wary of that.
And I will say this type of clip isn't the only one you're going to see if you look this up online. Many people are saying that it's not worth it anymore. Their entire homes are getting destroyed. I mean, this one is just insane.
I rented my house out on Airbnb, and this is what happened. Right after January, I got a same-day booking request. I was super excited because I actually needed the money, but this is what happened. You can see they started damaging a lot of stuff, took some of my cushions, threw my router down, my home security, and my Amazon Alexa, broke my TV screen, punched holes in the walls, broke my shelf, Broke my table, bought a new one and chairs. As you can see, there's still tags on them. Ruined all the carpet, stole my comforter.
I cut it off there. He keeps going with all the stuff that happened just to make a little bit of extra money on Airbnb. Overall, definitely not worth it. I mean, there's another one where a whole bunch of people threw a party and ended up hitting the air conditioning unit outside, damaging it, costing thousands of dollars, along with, again, wrecking the entire house. So even with going to Airbnb, showing all the problems that happened, even possibly taking the customers to court to repair everything in the house and recoup the money, this definitely doesn't seem like a passive income stream or really an income stream at all. But you are still going to see tons of videos like this online trying to sell you their courses, their entrepreneurship. I mean, there's a million different buzzwords.
Academy has our
Oh yeah, the courses might be the worst thing about the Airbnbs, dog. I'm like, it's 2025, bro. Y'all still buying courses? I'll be laughing. I know this dude, man. 10, 15 mentors later, always got a new mentor. I'm like, man, you just not him, bro. You just not him at the end of the day, bro. You need a new course, a new mentor. And I'm like, you've been doing this for years and years. You're just not him, bro. To be at the level you at and still needing a mentor, dog. I get that you supposed to keep elevating and a good mentor, but it's like, bro, 10 mentors, nigga. When are you gonna be the mentor?
course, which will teach people how to get started in Airbnb A through Z and teach them how to host on the Airbnb platform. But alongside the course, the Academy has coaching. There are student advisors to guide our students, coaches who do calls, and there is a
rented out. They said, well, you know what? The house has been completely destroyed. Holes through every wall. There's a couple of bedrooms that are good, but
I wonder who gonna start stealing identities to rent Airbnbs and then just go in the house and take everything from the copper to this, that. Might take an air conditioning unit, might, steal a refrigerator, all this, and you wouldn't know. Be like, this was a fault, this what, hey.
As you can see, the door's been ripped off this bedroom and it's in half.
That's crazy.
I own 6 Airbnb properties, and in 2022, they brought in $899,671. And here's an exact breakdown of each property and how much cash flow or profit they made and what the total profit was for the year.
So at almost $1 million in cash flow from 6 properties. To you and me on the surface level, that doesn't seem like too much. It's not like he's got 25 different properties and has to go all over the place cleaning and booking everything, doing work 24/7. 6 doesn't seem like that much work. So these types of videos become very appealing, and he starts going through the cash flow and what the actual profits were, house by house, and at the end, the net cash flow is $371,000 apparently. I don't know if it's just the way that I think, but when he said 6 properties at $371,000 in total, my head goes to, well, if I just got a single property, it would net over $61,000 in profit, apparently, which overall is definitely not the case in most situations. We're going to see in a second what the reality is for most people, but surprise, surprise, this is another influencer. I help people acquire their first Airbnb with, shocker, another course to sell. Ready to fast track your success with short-term rental investing? My 7-figure investment strategy revealed, and it's down.
We have cash flow $3,523 in 8 months owning this Airbnb. Now you might be thinking, well, that ain't that great. You're right, it kind of sucks. I'm in Panama City Beach right now. We're staying in the condo that we purchased earlier in the year. We purchased the condo back in March of this year with the goal to short-term rent it, Airbnb. So we've now had the condo for 8 months, and here's a full cost breakdown. So the sale price was $450,000. We put $125,000 down. We spent $3,306 at closing. We came in here and did some upgrades, got some new appliances, painted, did a few things just to freshen it up a little bit. And that total was $6,766. So all in all, the out-of-pocket cash we had to invest to get the beach property was $135,072. The mortgage payment on this is $2,163 per month. HOA is $395 a month. Taxes is $338 a month. So our cost per month is $2,893.
So I mean, overall, even with all of his costs, an extra $3,800 would be nice for anybody now in this economy, but a wild difference from the last clip of $300,000+ from just a few properties. Even the guy in this clip said that $3,500 in 8 months really isn't that great for all the work that they actually have to put in, because that passive income dream where you don't actually have to do that much work is exactly that, a dream.
Did people get into Airbnb thinking it was a passive investment and were shocked with the reality that it actually takes work? Are people tired now? Is the property distressed?
And then they'll buy a vacation rental or they'll buy an apartment building or whatever the thing is. And then within the first 2 years, they're like, damn, I don't like this. This involves people and people are horrible. I don't want to deal with people. This is not what I want to do. I'm going to sell this. So 50% of all of them are sold. What we saw in 2021 was there was a lot of FOMO buying too. So rates at 2%, people are like, man, I've always wanted a beach house and the rates are at 2%. I can kind of swing that payment.
Today, and all my other ones are losing money. The market is over. And now I'm going to need to sell a couple of the houses that I'm up in on equity to cover the loss of the foreclosure, the massive ding to my credit, and all my other properties that are losing money on a monthly basis. The last 3-6 months have really seen a huge downturn, almost straight downturn, and it's honestly just not the market that it used to be. Of their course. So essentially what had happened is this person was staying for about 3 weeks. Now I eventually got this content sent to me by a friend saying, hey, isn't that your property? Now the house is pretty unique. I can tell it's my house, right? And I eventually matched the name on the reservation to this so-called YouTuber as well. Now, pretty much what this gentleman was doing was he was saying, hey, if you buy my marketing or dropshipping, something like that, some digital course, then you can own a property like this. And in other videos, he's saying, this is my property that I paid for by selling XYZ on XYZ. Now, at the end of the day, he was a very good guest. I think it was just him and his cameraman or camera crew, whatever it may entail. He had approximately, I think, 1 million followers throughout all his platforms. So a pretty big name, probably made some.
Boy, that's crazy, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. But for the most part, I'm telling y'all, man, by the time you hear about something and they selling you courses on it and telling you this and promising you, it's already too late. It's already too late. It's about to get oversaturated just like everything else. Now it's going to be, you're just going to see, because you're going to have to constantly compete. And it's like, yo, just think of it as Airbnb. I got this new drug called Airbnb. I bought it for this, but it sells for this and makes me this much. Once other people hear for that, they like, oh, I got the Airbnb too. But instead of messing with that, I'm gonna charge you this, so I can make that. But at least I'm undercut. Like, it's just, and then more and more people keep doing it, and eventually everybody's trying to lower their prices just to try to make up for it. And then before you know it, it's time to get out the business and it's burnt out. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about that, man. Because Airbnb, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it.